Breakfast Club was directed by John Hughes and stars Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall. One sec. So this is the movie right here. So this movie stars Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, and Paul Gleason. And oops, I'm sorry, dropped the movie. But I actually did rewatch this movie last night, and I actually loved this movie. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. The last time I watched this was in ninth grade, I believe. This movie came out. This movie came out. This movie came out in. This movie came out February 1985, and this is one of my anticipated films of. I was born in 1998, so I didn't really know nothing. I was born in 1998, so I actually did rewatch the movie like probably like twice, three times already. So in this movie we have so we have a basket. So in this movie we have five students. Or so in this movie we have a basket case, a princess, a jock, um, a brains, and a criminal. Five students in the movie. So we have five students. So we have five students who goes to Saturday morning detention for what they did wrong, and they ask each other questions, or they ask each other questions. What you in here? Where'd you go? What you in here for? Oh, I did something wrong or something. What are you in here for? What are you in here for? What did you hear? What are you in here for or something? And Paul Gleason, who plays like a principal or a librarian in this movie, I think he plays more like a librarian in this movie. And yeah, he probably put them into this until they start creating a friendship together. When they first met for the first time, they started to discover about each other. They tell each other about what they want to do in their future, and they do argue a lot sometimes. They don't get along. They want to create each other a friendship, and that's pretty much it. Actually, they want to create each other a friendship and discover about themselves or something like that. This entire movie I actually love. I heard so many great things about this movie, how great it is. This movie asks you a lot of questions. I know this movie did ask me a question. What did you do back in high school? What did you do back in high school? Did you get in trouble? Did you do this? Did you do that? I'm like, no, I didn't get in trouble back in high school. Back in high school, I was never in trouble at all. I was a great student back in high school. Like, my ninth grade year was fine. Yeah, my ninth grade year was fine. 10th grade was okay. 11th grade, I didn't really like 11th grade, long story. And for 12th grade, I loved 12th grade because 12th grade, I was ready to get out of that. I was ready to get out of there. I'm like, I'm ready to get out of here. This is ridiculous. So yeah, when you're in 12th grade, you're just ready to get out. You're just ready to leave. You're just like, oh, it's about time. I'm ready to get out of here. So in this movie, I have so many great things I enjoy about the movie. Is this movie doesn't give you a really tough. Hold on a second. This movie doesn't really give you a really tough time. This movie actually will probably ask the adults if you're in college or if you're an older an adult, then this movie will probably ask you some questions of what you did back in high school. Did you or like what did you do back in high school? Did you get in trouble in high school? Were you a good student back in high school? Um, because these are the kids that cause a lot of trouble. Because for what they did wrong, they have to write an essay like 1,000 words and discover of who they think they are. What I love about this movie are the actors. The actors in this movie are absolutely great in this movie. Their performances are terrific. The conversations are really good in the movie. Yeah, the conversations and the communication this entire movie takes place in basically in the library. It takes an entire the movie. This entire movie takes place basically in the library inside the high school because the whole entire movie takes place in the high school. Like I think they call it Shermer High School, and this movie takes place in 1984. This movie came out in 1985. And Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, and Paul Gleason, and Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, and what's the other guy's name? Emilio Estevez. They're absolutely terrific in this movie. Their performances are terrific. Sorry. What I love about this movie are the performances. The performances in this movie are magnificent. You don't see them just like treating you like a complete idiot. They're trying to give each other a lesson for what they did wrong, and they actually tell each other about themselves of what do you like to do for your future? What do you like to do? I don't know. I probably want to graduate and do something or get a GED or something, and that's what they were talking. I think that's not what they're talking about, but they were talking about something else. They were talking about, and also, Molly Ringwald is a princess. Molly Ringwald is a princess. She looks more like a shopping female character in this movie. I like Molly Ringwald. I feel like she's really good here. Her performance is terrific. I love the way she actually give us and ask and really probably ask the adults questions, like, hey guys, what did you guys do back in high school? Hope you didn't cause any trouble. Hope you didn't make the same mistake as us. Oh no, never. And yeah, because Molly Ringwald's really good here, but she's a prince. She's the princess in this movie. And for Emilio Estevez, he's a jock. I think when they mean jock, I think they mean he's either a football player or more like a basketball player. Because to me, he looks more like a football player in this movie. Because I feel like he's actually doing a really good job with his performance. He's actually saying the same question. And for because he's absolutely really good in this movie. If you're in high school, we actually have some really like. If you're back in high school, like, because these are just like five groups, the Breakfast Club, and I'm like, so you call each other the Breakfast Club? That is awesome. And and for Judd Nelson's character, Judd Nelson is the criminal in this movie. Judd Nelson is magnificent in this movie. His performance killed it. He killed it. He's really excellent in this movie as well. Judd Nelson plays the criminal. He loves so Judd Nelson's character. He loves to steal things. He has some. There's a scene in the movie where he has drugs or something. Probably has some like cigarettes and stuff or weed or marijuana, whatever he has, and 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 also we do and also he does, like I say, he does like to steal things. He loves to like be a thief. He probably loves to he's probably like a killer or something, because he looks like, every time I look at Judd Nelson's character, I'm just looking at him like, dude, why you dressed like somebody from Grand Theft Auto? I mean, you look like you're gonna kill somebody. And for Ali Sheedy's character, Ali Sheedy doesn't talk that much in this movie, but I think her performance is terrific. But she makes too much cat noises, and she makes this cat noise. I don't know what kind of cat noise she makes. And I'm sitting there like, please don't make any more cat noises. And afterwards, she started talking to she started talking throughout the entire movie, and that was it. And I'm sitting there like, don't ever make cat noises again. And I think Ali Sheedy's really good here. What I love about her in this movie, um, her her performance is terrific as well. And for Paul Gleason, who plays a librarian in this movie, so I'm sorry. So I think Ali Sheedy in this movie is a basket case, is what they're saying. Because Ali Sheedy's character is dressed like an anime character, and I'm sitting there like, why you dressed like an anime character? Just saying. I'm just saying, not gonna judge. But I actually like Ali Sheedy though. Well, like, so my favorite movie that she played in was Short Circuit. That we'll get into that later. Who else do we got? Uh who else do we got? We got Anthony Michael Hall, who's the brains, which means he's basically smart. And there's a scene in the movie when he's talking about, I'm in a math club, Latin club, and physics club, and I'm like, whoop de doo, good for you. And I think Anthony Michael Hall is really good here. He looks more like a nerdy kid in this movie, but he's not wearing glasses or anything. Um, because I think what I enjoy about his character, he's actually playing. I think he did play in this movie called Weird Science. Actually, he's actually really good in this movie as well. Paul Gleason, who's really good here. Did I forget somebody? I think that's all the characters. Basically actors actually. So what I enjoy about the movie is the John Huston's movies. This is from the he came from the so he directed I think he directed Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He directed 16 Candles, and he directed this old movie Weird Science. And yeah, I think he did a really good job with this movie. And I feel like his movies are magnificent. He's trying to make sure his pictures his maybe he's trying to make sure his camera picture is make sure it's perfect, to make sure it's not like a dark color grading. The color grading for this movie is completely like a friendly color to you. Um, if because I feel like high schoolers are going to be able to watch this movie if they have any trouble or problems in school, or maybe they're just like, yeah, I'm having trouble in school. I'm having I got this person got into a fight with me. This person jumped me. This movie actually tell you what's going on. You'll know. And And also, what else was I gonna say? What I love about this movie is the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack, the music score, but sometimes mostly the soundtrack for this movie is 1980s style. You can hear some really great 80s retro music in your head. You're just like, okay. There's a scene in the movie where the students, the five students were both dancing. And there's a scene in the movie where they were dancing. Um, they were dancing to this song called we're Not Alone, and I'm sitting there like, I don't think I heard this song. This song looks familiar. And there's some really good 1980s soundtrack. There's some really good music, some really good music score. But sometimes the music score can get a little bit too low at sometimes. But I'm not gonna judge the whole movie because I actually love this whole entire movie. Like I said, so for the actors in the movie, we have Molly Ringwald who played in Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles, and she did play in this other movie called Jim and the Holograms. And for her movies, I feel like Molly Ringwald played in some really I think the only movies I know she played in was Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles. And for Anthony Michael Hall, all I know is he probably played in the movie Weird Science. He mostly did play in Weird Science because that's I'm looking forward to watching it. I actually did I did watch the trailer for Weird Science, and I'm sitting there like, I feel like I should watch this movie. And for Emilio Estevez, he played in The Mighty Ducks, I think. And for Ali Sheedy, she played in one of my favorite movies, which is Short Circuit. She played in this really crazy movie called Man's Best Friend. She played in some other type of movies. But I love her in this movie, Short Circuit. I love Short Circuit. I'm probably gonna review it one of these. I'm probably gonna looking forward to reviewing the movie Short Circuit one of these days, one of these weekends. I don't even know. I'll let you guys know on that. And for Judd Nelson, who played this was before the 1986 Transformers movie came out. He played the voice of Hot Rod in the movie. I mean, I think he's actually really good at his voice work as an Autobot who lived on Cybertron. So, and for him, he's actually really good here. And for Paul Gleason, I don't know what movies he played on. The only movies I know he plays is in this movie. So I think there's nothing much to say about this movie except for the stuff that I only know. And I think the location for this movie is I really love the shots. There's a beginning scene in the movie where we get really good shots of the high school where all this stuff that all the students did something wrong. Like we get the cafeteria scene. We get the scene in the movie where we get the computer room says hackers will be expelled, and that's what the sign did say in the movie. And for this and for and then we also did get a really good shot of the locker. Wow, that is crazy. But I really love the great shots of the movie of the high school, the library. He did a really good job of be like, we're not moving the camera. He's not shaking the camera just like that. No, he's actually he's trying to make sure his movie, like the camera work, to make sure his camera work just slows it down a little. But that's what the greatest things I enjoy about the movie, and this is nothing much to say about this movie because I understand most adults and I understand most adults have never seen this movie for a past. Like if you grew up in the 1980s, like if you were born in the 80s, or if you grew up in the 80s or born in the 80s, you'd be like, I haven't seen this movie for a long time. And yeah, I'm sure you haven't seen this movie since it first came out in theaters. And that's one of the only things I enjoy about the movie. And I think John Huston did a really good job of making and directing and giving a good grade to this movie. And that's all I gotta say for this movie review for The Breakfast Club. There's nothing much to say about it anyway, so that's all. So I think that's all I gotta say for this movie review. So be sure to like and subscribe, press notification button, follow me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you on my next video. And thank you for watching.